Okay, today we have found this thing roadside, and well, of course it doesn't work. The CD changes on these Walmart things just don't last. But I did go ahead, as you see me, I fixed one of those nostalgia looking ones before, so I want to take a crack at this. This has a KSS-213CL laser in it, and I went and someone had one for sale on eBay, but the CL version was like $30, and the KSS-213C is about $5. So I asked the seller on eBay, is the C, if I buy a C from you, is it compatible with the CL? He says, yeah, buy two and I'll give you an original Sony. And he has a note here. It says, this is genuine new Sony KSS-213C is moved from deck. So it'll have some oil on the gear, which it does. You need to remove the anti-static solder. Nice of them to tell us this, because a few of them don't. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me get some focus here.
You need to remove the anti-static solder for protection before using. I'll show you where it is. But I don't understand why he said buy two to get a KSS-213CL, and he sends me a C used. Well, he says new. It does say genuine new. It doesn't say Sony like the ones in the ad. I'm a little skeptical all around here. And it doesn't say CL, it says 213C, so I don't know what's going on here. I didn't get a CL. He says buy two, I'll send you what you need. And it's not a CL, it's just a C, so why didn't I just buy the $5 one? I don't know what's going on here. So I spent $8. I'll show you in a minute inside what I'm talking about. And the solder pad for the anti-static, like I said, which others sell but they don't tell you, is right there on the very right. You have to unbridge that dab of solder right there. There's two pads connected together for anti-static. I'll heat up the soldering iron and we'll remove that again. So I'll just unbridge these two right here. And that's it. Okay, 15 screws, 7 on each side and 1 in the back. And this opens us up. And all I want to do is get that in there. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but it says 2. Get closer. That one says KSS-213CL. So let's put our C in there and see if we can trust what that seller said. Okay, I've opened up the carousel and there's one in the corner that's near impossible to get at. With a short screwdriver you can start it, and then I just take it by hand. And this just lifts. Mind you, this is if all the motors and everything else are in good condition. Usually it's just the lasers in these things. So this is not as, it's just as, there's no clasps on this. Oh yeah, no, you just pull that straight, that ribbon just pull straight out. I'm not going to do it one, you don't want to tear this ribbon, just be careful. I think I have one other connector here for the motors. Get this thing on the bench and see what we can do. This just pulls out. Let me do this off camera. There we go. Okay. Set this thing on the floor. We're out of the way for now. The reason I want to experiment with this thing, repairing it, is because of this amplifier that it has. Back in the late 70s, I bought a Sanyo car stereo, and their big thing at the time was bi-amplification. A little amp chip there. And that's what drew me to this. You have a subwoofer, main speakers, and
the tweeters are separate. I'll go into more detail about this later, but the speakers have actual channel for the sub, channel for the, they call them main speakers. So these are the high, mids, highs. This is the bass. Separate amplifiers for each frequency. And if this thing range plays anything like the Sanyo of the 70s did, that was the most fantastic sound I'd ever heard bi-amplified, where one amplifier amplifies just the mids and the highs, whilst the other just amplifies the lower frequencies. Okay, I've just make a note of them side by side here, and I think what I need to do is just squeeze this here. We've got to get this rail out of here, so slide that out and this should just pop out. One of these days we'll get a tripod set up here so I can work without holding the camera. But see, it says the KSM-213CL, and we have a KSS-213CL. Yet when I inquired again if the C is compatible, I got told buy two, and I expected two of them or a CL. I get one. Any event, like I said, I just pull on this pull this little plastic here, and the bar slides right out, like so. And I simply just lift him out, I'm sure, because it rides on. It just rides like right there. This should just fall out. Actually, let's move the bar the whole way. Try not to take any more out than we have to. He's stuck on the gear. I hope I don't have to take the gear out. Nope. And there we go. There we go. Installation's the reverse of removal, as the saying goes. So this one ready, out. You in. Alright, let me get it lined up. Oop, fall through. Let me get it lined up and I'll check. Okay, I'm going to hold off on putting the mounting screws back in. I put a couple of CDs. These are in horrible shape, but they do play. A couple of CDRs. I think these are in the. I found these under the seat of the truck when we bought it. They're kind of like freebies. We'll apply power. It's going to look. I'll take the disc, focus, and it says no disc, right? No. Perhaps we have to turn it on. RCA.com. Hello, how about playing a disc? No disc, see? Fail. That's telling me this isn't working. I was suspect. It doesn't even try. I can't even shut the full thing off. Bye-bye. Yeah, let's go. Power. How does it know so quickly that there's no disc in there? That's the killer. Well, like I say, I'm not going to spend much time on this. I will let the seller know. This was a fail. Okay, so in closing here, I may look around for another CD player to test these lenses in. Who knows? I'll take a look at the decoder board. Over here is where the laser gets its power and whatnot. There's one capacitor there. I may use the checker and the modern checker and check for
ESL on these, ESR I mean, on these caps, or just take a look around. Those are the motor drivers. That's the decoder logic. I don't think there's anything too much that can go wrong here. On the power supply, though, there's a couple of
Okay, back together, same symptoms. I'm wondering if this camera will pick up laser light.
Oh, go ahead. I don't see anything coming out of that laser.
Nothing.
Okay, source. CD. Not even a... not even a hint. It doesn't even
Alright, here's a
try.
follow-up on the RCA shelf system here. I took a laser out of a CD DVD, just to play with the laser diode. I did apply like 3 volts minimal current, and I did get a little red glow out of the laser, so I was able to test that just as a case study. So back on the RCA here, I attached some leads to the 3 volts of the, the board fell down, but here and here I attached some leads to the laser power via the chip. This is a 1-chip decoder, and Philips, I downloaded the PDF on that so I could find power and ground for the laser. Laser's not getting any power. It's not getting turned on, which of course, but I was curious, why does it say no disk so quickly? Well, here's what I found. Over here, the display, after going through some websites to try to find the user manual, I did notice a disk status display in the front. It's pretty cool. It lights up red, all red, and then they each go out. Well, looking at the instructions, it's supposed to tell you which compartment is loaded. I put 2 disks in. Every light goes out. Doesn't know that it has a disk in there. So I'm like, well, how does it know whether it has a disk in there or not? Well, if you notice, the disk is 5 inches here. There has to be a slot somewhere to allow an electric eye through to tell it how does it know there's a disk in there. Well, here is a 3-inch CD impression. The CD single, which was like a $2 bill, never really took off. So if you look in there, there's our little reflective infrared device there. So I have a pretty good idea that the IR sender right there, the one on the right, is defective. I might have one kicking around here I can throw in there. Then if it sees a disc, then it will turn the laser on, and hopefully we'll be good to go.
Kind of funny with the tray off, it says please use 5-inch CDs only. There's our sensor. We're getting closer, but I gotta get to the underside.
Gee, now you don't think that board's too fatigued there a little, huh? Just a little hot. I know this is working because well, I don't know if that's working, but this I want to replace. I could check the voltage as I did on that earlier video on the GPX DVD player. It needed the sensor on all the time, so it wouldn't detect a disc. It always detected a disc. This is doing the opposite. And I looked for the voltage drop across the receiver over here from the sender. And if you don't see any voltage change, you know it wasn't breaking the circuit anyhow. I have one of these LEDs around someplace. I'll check these resistors also. This one's a 220 ohm, this is a 270 ohm, and they both test okay. Okay, I've marked its orientation, and the clear LED is facing the outside of the board. I've unsoldered it. Oh. Unsoldered it. Oh, I should. I'm going to have to note the polarity here so we don't mess that up. Alright, the positive is on the right. We'll fit the new one in just like that. We'll try and find. I think our LEDs are bigger than this, but we'll finagle something in there.
The receiver I'm just going to solder back in because I don't want to lose that. Oh, and the flat is pointing out on each of them. The flat surface is out on each of them. Yeah, they're just a tad bigger, the diode there, than the one installed, but it's in correctly, and soldered it in. We'll trim the leads, and I'm not putting the fancy cover on, and we're just going to
And there we are with our board reinstalled. A little overkill.
Go over our connections here. I've unplugged the fan so I could listen to that CD focus make a little click. That's all it did. I'll remember to plug that back in. And this one is marked X because it's just dangling here unused from that C audio or whatever this board up here is called. The decoder and whatnot. Okay. Let's apply the power here. And contact. We'll shut our soldering iron off. Contact. It goes to its little sequence there. It stops. That's normal. Now what I want you to see is when we switch to CD, now turn it on again. Switch to CD. Oh, look, see? It knows the discs are in there. That's a good sign. Now this, and it's gonna play read disc 3. I have no idea what it's doing, and this is the replacement CD in here. Lens error. Yeah, that's no mystery there. Yeah. Maybe we'll put the original pickup back in here. Of course, these discs aren't the best. No disc, and all the lights are out. Anyway,
Yeah,
let's try
the
this
camera
again.
is picking up some infrared from that sensor there, so
I just want
good
to
thing.
verify the operation of this. It did see the disc, but it has an error now reading it because we've been meddling where we shouldn't have been. There are our disc lights. We're going to close this. It's going to count off the discs. And it's going to try to read one. And it's going to error. And it goes out. So let's put the original lens back in.
The folks who sell these things, they sell them all day long, but when you ask a technical question about compatibility, you don't get an answer. Yeah, you could buy two and I'll send you one original Sony, but it doesn't work. So we have the original. Now I've gone in and turned that pot and everything else on this one, but this is a CL. And this is just a C. I've asked two sellers, is the C compatible with the CL? And me, in my experience with Sony, would be no. They've done just enough that it's not compatible. So let's put the original back in. There's just a release on the bar, a release on the gear. Just take the gear, take him out, put our original back in, put the gear back down, slide it in, and we'll be good to go. Slide the bar. Okay, and then we are back in with the original. This is called the sled, I guess. The sled. And this works. I put this way out here. It'll go to the center when it initializes, but let's plug the cables in and give it a try. Okay, I've fitted the original back in there. We're going to hit it with some power here. It'll do its initializing thing. And stop there. Now, hit the power. Go to CD. It knows there is 1 and 3. It's reading. Sounds better. Oh, come on. It's trying. Alright, let's stop that a minute. That's not reading. But this is probably problems that we've created, because we shouldn't have had to gone in there. I'll turn that pot a little bit. Better yet, I'll try a stamped disc, but like I say, we're trying to read a disc that looks like that. So let's give it another. So we fixed the problem, but we may have created another one. And we haven't tried this one yet. See if it reads it. No, it's having the same problem. It's trying though. Okay, I'll switch disc. Skip that disc. Go to the stamped disc. No, same thing. It's trying. The only thing I've done is turn that pot. I'm going to turn that pot. Okay, the pot I'm referring to that I turned is that one there. I placed it about in the middle of its path, so I'll try this again. It knows that disc is there, reading. Oh, come on. It's not gonna go. We fixed the original problem. Now we've created a second problem. It's trying, but... Okay, this time I have it about 2/3 turned up. Again, the lights are operating, so we fixed that problem. I'm just playing with it a little bit. Maybe I could take out my test wires there. The lens is going up and down focusing. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's trying to focus. In and out, trying to focus. Put the control down to the beginning of its path, but I have a strange feeling either the laser is defective, or putting that other laser in did something to the circuitry. I don't know. I'm saying, I bet you the sensor was the only problem. I'm going to turn off the ambient lights, that might help. It's trying to read again. Error right away. That's a different error. Well, I suppose that's where we'll leave this one. We've solved the problem, but not really. With the other CD pickup in there, which is not the same number, it basically does the same thing. It tries to read. So it knows what discs are loaded though. That's a shame. So maybe this had two problems. We'll never know. Same thing. This is with the other 213C. It's a little quieter. Again, you can hear it trying. I'm thinking we have an original that is bad and a replacement that's either bad or incompatible with the CL. I may spring for one of these, I'm not certain yet. Thanks for watching.